All right. Well, hello, everybody, and happy Monday. Thanks for being here once again. Busy weekend as always. Getting a little cooler out there, but Mother Nature's still being kind of nice to us, right? Tis that time of year. I did hear somebody complain about the weather the other day, and I'm just like, we live in southwestern Ontario, right? You do know where you live. I know. And in a few more months, we'll be claiming it's really, really cold. And then a few months into that, we'll be claiming it's really too hot. I don't know. But it's really nice out there. I was out for a drive the other day with some friends, and we noticed like the colors of the leaves, and it's just a really nice time of year. So, I guess appreciate all the different seasons that we have around here. And it was a decent summer, I guess, right? What did you get out and do over the weekend? Did you have any fun? Did you go to some parties, or what was going on? I know there was several different galas that were going on in the city as well and stuff. So I did my show with Stephen Healy earlier today, which we do every Monday at 12 o'clock Eastern on Monday. And, of course, I always have my friend Stephen Healy, who I enjoy talking with. He's from the United Kingdom, joins me every week. We talk different community stuff. They get a little politics in there, but nothing too heavy. And just a really good time. So I'm always happy to talk with my friend Stephen. You can check that out on the Facebook page here as well, on the show with David Burrows. And I guess I really have to start it off by saying what I always say. Happy Monday to you, everybody. I enjoy Mondays because we get to talk to some great people here on the show. And wherever you're joining us from, I really appreciate it, of course, as always. But I do want to remind everybody that we are simulcast throughout the world. So I always want to say a special thank you and a shout out to our friends in the United Kingdom who are simulcasting us on their Facebook hub, and we are simulcast in Australia, all throughout the United States. We are in South Africa, thanks to our friend Brigetti as well. So everywhere is watching. So wherever you're watching from, please take the time to say hello in the comments. And there is a link. That's not my horns. That's me pointing up above saying there's a link in the description. Click on that. You must be watching directly from the Show with David Burrows Facebook page in order for us to see your comments and questions. And our guests today certainly welcome your comments and questions. We'll be talking with them in just a moment. And before we continue to move on, let us go over and see who is commenting with us right now. There's Dom. Let's say hello, Dom. Hi, Dom. How you doing? Happy Monday to you. Hope you're doing well. Dom, a regular follow here as well, and was following along earlier as well. Now, I want to just, I've got a few minutes before we get to our first guests. We've got two guests today. We're going to get to them in just a few minutes. I know they're anxious, but this thing happened today. Let me just bring this up on the screen. We talked a bit about it earlier. Just sort of want to get a different opinion here as well. Oh, Graham Walker. Hey, Dave. United Kingdom, Yorkshire watching. Thank you very much for being here, Graham. We appreciate you, and we appreciate you taking the time to say hello. And we do our best to recognize everybody in the comments here. So I'll take this up on your screen. I'll bring this full screen just for a moment so you can read a little better. So cell phone ban in Ontario classroom starts today. Now, This didn't really come out of nowhere. This has been discussed about before, I think back in 2011, and it didn't happen. And now it has finally happened. There's actually a poll on my group page. So there's a link below here as well that says join the group if you haven't already. And there's a poll on there. Do you think that cell phones should be banned in the classroom? And the opportunity there, well, let's share the different poll that we have there. I find it really interesting. I find it really interesting, the different thoughts on this. So I wanted to bring it to your attention. So the question is, do you think banning cell phones in the classroom is a positive decision? Yes, about 17 people say yes. And there's a couple that say no. And the third option is haven't read anything to understand. So in other words, what we're saying there is, do you even know what we're talking about? But I found some of the comments really interesting here. One said, I think it's odd that respect is gained. There we go. Okay, I think it's odd that respect is gained through the introduction of a rule. Okay, that's Jim Loxton. Shannon Sherrard says, what I don't get, why they didn't ban them from the classrooms a long time ago. I know when I was in high school, we couldn't bring our Discman to class, had to stay in our lockers. What's really interesting about that I find is, we couldn't bring our Discmans in, but now music is often encouraged. I know when I used to study, I always had my tunes going to help me focus, I guess, if you will. Is it in the classroom? I don't know. Nikki says, making classrooms mobile friendly and then taking away phones. Sorry, but not all families can afford the tablets and other smart items. The school could invest in an app that can only be used within the classroom. And if the student leaves it or tries to do anything but the work, it lets the teacher know. Kind of defeats the purpose of the new. Well, that's an interesting concept, a special app. So if you're interested in sharing your comments of that, again, join the show live group. There's a button below this broadcast that you're watching here today. Or of course, you can just go into Facebook and type it in. And I left my comment there as well. As a teacher myself, part-time, I find it useful to have in the classroom. But there are rules. It's like you're not to be texting or watching, YouTube videos or anything like that. But I find it helps me get them engaged. If I say pick up your device and go log into this, we're going to do a Kahoot today. And if you don't know what that is, it's a lot of fun. And it gets them engaged. So anyway, it's really interesting to see the difference of opinions that have been happening out there about the cell phone ban that began today in the Ontario classrooms. So curious to see your responses. So if you take the time to share that as well. Who else is out there? Let's go back over and we'll say hello to Barry Loxton. Of course, another regular here. Barry, thanks so much for being here. Looking forward to seeing you this week as well. And so go back and share the opinions, if you will, on your thoughts on if cell phones should be banned in the classroom. All right, enough for that right now. I'll be looking forward to your comments there. Sarnia Sting, got to talk about them. These guys are definitely on a roll now. It's more than a game for the Sarnia Sting this year. And interestingly enough, it was a tough start for them. If you were watching any of it at all. And I just, forgive me if I'm pausing. I'm just I'm muting my folks in the background because I can hear you, but they can't hear you. Okay, there we go. Definitely off to a rough start. Several losses in a row. And now we're seeing it different. The pendulum has swung tremendously the other way for the Sarnia Sting. They had a 5-game winning streak on the road, which was ended and stopped abruptly by the Ottawa 67s, which notably the Sarnia Sting have not been able to beat the Ottawa 67s in their hometown for 7 or 8 years. I don't quote me exactly, but 7 or 8 years. And then they would come home and win. Sarnia Sting would win over the Flint, a final score of 7-5. And I got to tell you, being there at that game, and I'm at all the home games myself and my friend Jay Peckham, Jake Chersky, and some others. We do broadcast live from the concourse and talk about the games. It was a bit of a nail biter. We were getting nervous there about how things went. The Sarnia Sting did come out strong in the first and second period, but it was a little, we were nervous. But they did come out. Kelton Hatcher, defenseman for the Sarnia Sting, would come out with the first goal at about 32 seconds in the first period. Came along to say, we are here to play. And I think it was a good message because typically in the past, and we talked with Sean Jostling after that game, which is also on our Facebook page, Flint has really, over the past few years, been a thorn in the side of the Sarnia Sting. And as Flint was coming in the last few years as honestly quite a weak team, they still seemed to beat the Sarnia Sting. So this year, they were sure that Flint was they had their name and they were looking for him. But Kelton Hatcher started things off with a great goal in the first period. Then Sean Jostling would go on to have one in the first, the second, and the third period to give himself his second hat trick of the year. And again, we spoke with Sean Jostling after the game, and you can see that again on our Facebook page. Sam Bitton was also in there in the second period, and Ryan Roth would score 2 goals. One in the second and one in the third, 2 in the third, a goal, and then an empty netter as well. But they all count, so that was fantastic. And then they would go on the road the very next day. Sting won again over Owen Sound, final score 4-2. Ryan McGregor showed up there in the first period along with Jamison Reese, showing a goal in there. And, of course, Sean Jostling had to get a piece of the action. He had a goal in the second period. And, again, Sam Bitton doing it there and making it a final score of 4-2 against Owen Sound. So Sarnia Sting, the pendulum was over here and then just went way over here all of a sudden. More than a game for the Sarnia Sting, and we're happy to see them having some success there as well. I'll be back at all the home games. We'll be back there on November the 8th Friday night, this coming Friday. Puck drop is 7:05 as per usual. And the Sarnia Sting will take on the Sioux Greyhounds. And I promised my friend Danny Cucciamilio, who's going to join me again for the broadcast. We do a live broadcast pregame, and we talk about the game's intermission. He'll be there with me this weekend, and you never know who else might show up as well. And then on November the 10th, we'll be taking on the North Battalion. And I'll actually be up in the media booth. I'll be doing the arena announcing that night. And, of course, it'll be a Remembrance Day special hockey game as well. So lots happening with the Sarnia Sting. Congratulations to the Sarnia Sting. We are happy for them to be on the road to successes. All right. Well, I think we're about ready to go in and have our first guest. Now, I think some of us take advantage of the fact that we're able to get around, but things can happen out there, like falling, right? But I'm not going to talk about all of that. I'm going to go out here to my guests who are, I got to tell you, these are lovely ladies who are right, like you're right into this today.
Hello.
Hi.
How's it going there?
Good.
They're laughing, they're happy, they're like, I can't believe we're dressed up as penguins. This is occupational therapist Alexa Schmidt. Hello, Alexa.
Hello.
Oh, and you know what just happened? Watch this. I forgot to mute my Alexa here before I said hello. How many times do you get that in a day?
It happens every so often. A lot of people I see have Alexas in their home. So,
well, you're the Alexa Schmidt from the North Lambton Community Health Center. Thanks for being here. Yeah, and we also have Rachel Lamb from the Rapids Family Health Team. I appreciate you both taking the time. And honestly, I wish all my guests got into this interview as much as you two have here today. I know we've got a lot to talk about here, and I think it's really important what you're doing. And I understand, your vision and your mission here, but why don't we start with the mission and share that with everybody here that's watching?
Sure. So we're here representing the Lambton Fall Prevention Awareness. So we're just a community group of individuals who are here to essentially build awareness about fall prevention in the community. So we're trying to target people who have had a fall, have not had a fall, aren't even thinking about it yet. Just to get the conversation started about what can we do to prevent falls and be more aware of what might increase our risk.
Yeah, and that's really something, I guess most of it, we kind of take advantage of it, right? We just kind of throw the clothes on and put the shoes on and away we go. And we subconsciously, we don't even really think about preventing ourselves from falling, right?
Mm-hmm, for sure.
Yeah. It's a lot of times kind of under-recognized, or people don't think, oh, I could be at risk until it happens.
Yeah. And I was reading some statistics there. I think we'll see it coming up in a video, but like our emergency rooms really get full of people who are slipping and falling, which of course then clogs up the medical industry, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure. So that's why we like to come on and try and talk about it as best as we can.
Yeah. Well, nobody's going to forget you with the costumes you have on. That's for sure. Were those like discounted Halloween costumes you found somewhere, or
on Amazon?
Amazon, you gotta love Amazon. That's fantastic. I think it's awesome. Give us a little bit of the history of this that's happening, though, so people understand that how this, this prevention awareness all began, and there's some people behind it as well.
Sure. So we really started as a little community group probably in about 2017 in the summer. We were founded through the Lambton Seniors Association, and then through there, a lot of community groups got together. So we have our community health center on board. We have the Rapids Family Health Team. We have Alzheimer's Society of Sarnia Lambton. We have some community pharmacy representatives, Lambton Public Health, and the Canadian Mental Health Association, who have come together to really bring about some change. So we've done some other public awareness campaigns, like we were at the Seniors Fair for both years now, the one that was run in Point Edward and then the recent one in Sarnia. We did a little test for people to see what their balance is like, and maybe some tips for them to work on some home safety and some exercises at home.
Yeah. And just really trying to get, again, that message out there for people that have fallen or, might be at risk. Give them an indication of what they can do to hopefully prevent that.
Right. Well, speaking of falls, I know we've got something up here on the screen that there's some famous people up here. What do all these people have in common?
So what all these people happen to have in common is they've all had falls. And what I kind of like about this picture is you see kind of a variety of different age groups, most that you wouldn't assume would have had a fall.
Right.
So just to kind of give a little bit of background on some of these people, you see like Justin Bieber up there, Kim Kardashian, Brad Pitt, and Beyonce. So I'll kind of just do a couple that stand out. So Beyonce tripped on the stage over a long dress and ended up falling. So, you know, again, that's a common thing that could be prevented for most people, but definitely is a common cause of falls. A kind of interesting quote that Brad Pitt gave when he was featured for his falls. He had a black eye. You can't really tell from that picture, but he was quoted saying, "This is what happens when you try to run up steps in the dark with your arms full wearing flip-flops." So it's something that most people do, but exactly. But I can think, I mean, I've definitely done similar things before, right? Yeah. Even though I'm, you know, immersed in this, you know, falls prevention awareness myself, you know, it's things that sometimes we just don't think about.
Or maybe we think about it, but our ego gets in the way, and we think, "Oh, I can do that." Like Brad Pitt, well, I can do this in the dark. My flip flops, nothing's going to happen, right? Do we kind of do? I mean, I think we could all say that we've carried too much of the grocery bags coming from the car, or something like that, and then that's when things go wrong. Is that part of it too?
Yep, I think so, and I think definitely the kind of good news about it all is that there's so many preventable things, you know, ways that we can prevent these things from happening, and that's, you know, why we exist, is to try and give people those, you know, a lot of times pretty simple tips. But definitely, yeah, sometimes ego and a bit of pride can get in the way, even, you know, if we talk about using canes and walkers and mobility aids even as well.
Right. Well, let's go into, there's a bit of a cycle to all of this, right? The fall cycle. Explain exactly what that is.
Yeah, so I can start. So essentially, when we're talking about falls and risk, when we're looking at how does this happen and how can it happen again? So they say that when you fall, you're twice as likely to fall again. And this fall cycle comes from that idea that maybe we slip or trip and we lost our balance, and maybe we didn't fall, but now we're so scared of falling that we're just not going to go out as much. We're not going to walk too far. We're going to take our time. And sometimes when we do that and we aren't as active, we actually lose our strength and our balance can decrease. So it results in this loss of strength where it actually makes us more susceptible to fall because we are being a bit too careful. We're not exercising as much. We're not going outside, especially during those winter months. If we slipped and maybe in the summertime, now that the winter's coming, we're like, oh, we're not going to go outside. I'm going to stay at home. I'm not going to do anything. And then that actually increases our risk for falling because we need these muscles to be strong to keep us on our feet. And so this is where this whole thing started with the penguin walk was, well, in the wintertime, a lot of people tend to stay at home. We don't go out as much. We don't exercise. We don't have all these programs. We don't want to go outside. So what can we do so that we break this cycle and we aren't as weak in the wintertime? We keep our strength so that we can still prevent our risk of falling, you know, and make sure that we can still get around as we used to in the summertime.
Right. Now, do you have some exercises that you would do? Do you want to show us some of that?
Yeah. So why don't we talk about the indoor exercises and then we'll show you right after.
Yeah. Okay. You let me know when you're ready to do that.
Yeah. So there's some exercises just, you know, using kind of what's available to you. So a lot of people will do mall walking at the Lambton Mall, which is great. Yeah. You can go there early. Some people, I think, have special cards and different things like that. So that's a great, resource. If you're not comfortable to walk outside in the winter, well, you can go to the mall and walk inside there. If you live in an apartment building, just walking up and down the hallways. You can do stairs if that's something you're able to do. That can be a great exercise if that's something, again, that's going to be safe for you. And then again, on those days that maybe it isn't as snowy and whatnot, you know, in Sarnia, we don't get maybe quite as much snow as some other areas of Ontario. So we are lucky in that, you know, it might not be snowy all year. So if we feel safe, we can go out and do some walking in safe ways. And we're going to demonstrate some ways of that in just a couple minutes.
Okay, so we can show those exercises. I'll go over.
Alexa's going to show one of the primary exercises people can do at home to build more strength in their leg muscles, primarily your upper leg muscles.
Okay. Yeah, we got her coming here. Just let me get her up on the screen here. Love technology when it works. Here we go. All right, you're on.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yep.
All right, perfect. So I'm going to demonstrate a very simple exercise that you guys can do at home, probably right now, that will help decrease your risk of falling. So as you can notice, I'm seated in a chair. I've got two nice little armrests here, and it's a simple movement of standing up and sitting back down. Because these muscles right here, your quadriceps, these are the ones that actually keep you walking, keep you strong, and can reduce your risk of falling significantly. So to do this exercise, if you can put your arms crossed over towards your shoulders, and then you just kind of come towards the edge of the chair, you stand up, and then you sit back down. Now, if you need a little bit of support, you can either have one hand on the handles or two. The idea is to use the least amount of support as possible, and you just stand up, keeping your body nice and straight, and sit back down, nice and controlled, so we don't flop back in the chair or fall into the chair either. But really, just doing this for a few minutes every day will keep those legs nice and strong. And it's something you can do during the winter months or any time when you're bored, really, to practice.
All right, fantastic.
Yeah. And that's a really good one. Again, very functional because people have to get on and off of chairs all the time, on and off of toilets, things like that. And you can modify that in your own house, but when you're out and about in public, chairs sometimes are lower, that kind of thing. So it can be a lot harder if there's no handles, if you have to rely on that.
Right. Now your demographic for this is an older crowd, is that right? Or does this apply to everybody?
So our goal was this can apply to anybody. So when we're looking at those pictures that we had shown before with the celebrities, it's really anybody can have a fall at any age. We certainly serve the seniors and older adults in our community. So I see anybody over 50 who's had a risk of falls. But I think all the information that we're talking about today can be applicable to anyone because we all have those risk factors where maybe we're not paying attention, maybe we're going too quickly. Maybe we're not wearing the right footwear or we can't see where we're going. So any of us can fall, and these risk factors can apply to any age. It's just looking at, how can we prevent them from happening and make sure that we're doing our best, especially in the winter months coming.
Right. Okay. Now, speaking of preventing ourselves from falling, and I've watched this video, and I'm not gonna lie, I kind of chuckled in the beginning because it's a penguin, right? But then as I watched through it and everything, I realized when you think about it, it makes sense. Like it's almost like physics, right? But we don't always think logically, as demonstrated by our famous people who have fallen down. So, do you want to go to that now?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. So we've got a video here that the ladies provided with me, and this is the penguin walk. Or it's going to explain a little bit more. Well, we'll just let the video do the talking. Here we go. was awesome. What a great demonstration of kind of says it right there. And as I mentioned earlier, like how many people fall and go to the hospital because of this, right? So we've just got a few minutes left here before we move on, but you wanted to give a demonstration of the penguin walk as well?
Yes, we were going to give a demonstration.
So we'll go and swap over.
Yep, we can do that. All right, let's get them back in here. Yeah, go ahead, ladies.
All right. So we're thinking about winter walking and that. The first thing you're going to do is spread your feet apart, point your toes outward. If you have hands in your pockets, take them out because it's better for balance to have your hands available. And then you're just going to take small, short steps forward. Really trying to balance your center of gravity over your feet, not trying to bring your feet too high off the ground.
Looks pretty simple.
When you're doing it.
And you have to waddle when you're doing it?
No, you don't have to waddle.
Not particularly, but it just helps because we're increasing our base of support. You're going to have a little bit of better support on ice. The other thing I will grab for winter walking advice. For anyone that uses a cane or maybe has been thinking about using it, you can get this handy little device called an ice pick that can flip up onto the bottom of the cane to help just with better grip on the ice, and then it flips back up so that you can use it regularly inside again.
And would that work on, what do they call it, poling, right, as well?
Yes, so they do have them available for the poles as well when people use the Nordic poles and things like that. And the other thing too, if you notice our footwear, we're wearing shoes, might look a little odd with dress pants, but in terms of safety, you want something supportive and sturdy, particularly in the winter, hopefully something with a good grip on the bottom, a sturdy pair of boots, you can get ice cleats.
Yeah, you have to be very careful when you're out in the winter time. Even if you do the penguin walk, you still need to have good footwear to make sure that you're covered in all grounds.
All right, fantastic. Well, great demonstration. I guess think like a penguin.
Exactly.
Yep.
Right. All right. Is that it, or you want to come? Yeah, come sit back down and join me there. Great job, ladies. And I have to say this, and I was thinking earlier, do I say this? Because this song comes to mind, "Walk Like an Egyptian," but this is "Walk Like a Penguin," right? Oh, hang on a second. I still got you muted. My bad. There we go. Yeah, walk like a penguin, not like an Egyptian.
Yeah, like a penguin. That's the new version.
Right.
And we've been posting this poster all around. We haven't quite covered everywhere yet, but November's Falls Prevention Month. And so what we're hoping to achieve by this is to get kind of the word out there of how to walk safely in the winter. And it also provides some information on where to find information about exercise programs and things like that in Sarnia.
Right. And you had mentioned that for me to share this as well, too, that there's agefriendlysarnia.ca is also a great website, an initiative. Is this is related, I guess, Age Friendly Sarnia as well, right?
Yeah, so Age Friendly has basically the database for all of the resources that you would need that are related to health. So fall prevention is one of them. So if you go to Age Friendly, their website, they will kind of link you to where do you go for fall prevention, where do you go for other resources for health. So that's kind of how they're linked with us. They're a really good resource for the website, and it's very senior friendly too. So if you're not very good with a lot of different funny parts of websites, it's very straightforward. You look at the buttons, click on them. So that's kind of why they're on our poster here.
Right. Good collaboration.
Yes.
Fantastic. Well, I really appreciate you coming on here today and setting. I know you put a lot of time into this, and I think that's just wonderful that you've really taken this on, and it's really important. I really do think it's important. Before I let you go, you have a fan out here, Rachel. Greg George.
That's my fiance.
Oh, isn't that sweet? Keep supporting. Thank you, Greg, and all our other friends out there as well, watching from all over the world. Is there anything else that you want to throw out there before I let you go back and get back to hard work?
No, I would say just keep your eyes peeled. We're trying to get the posters as much around town as we can, and if you want a copy, you can always contact us at the health center or at the family health team. And make sure that you walk like a penguin this winter.
Yes, and we want to thank you as well, Dave, for having us on. This is great to just help raise.
Oh, you're welcome.
Yeah,
this was a lot of fun, and I learned a lot too. So thanks very much, ladies. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Come back anytime.
All right, we'll have new costumes.
Okay, perfect. Well, there you go. You've got Alexa and Rachel do the penguin walk. Walk like a penguin. Okay, that's going to be stuck in the head now forever. But it is really important because, as you saw in that video there, millions of people go to the emergency room because of a fall. So that really clogs things up there. And, well, we just don't want anybody getting hurt out there. So this is really a great way to learn how to prevent or do what you can to prevent the falls. And I know you can reach out to either Rachel or Alexa. We'll be posting everybody's information and links to their Facebooks and websites after the show as well on our Facebook page, so be able to click on those links and get all the information and reach out to them. Alexa and Rachel, once again, thank you so much for being here on the show today. All right, well, moving on. This is a pretty good timing for this, actually, because it's time to. Well, Christmas season is upon us, whether you want to hear it or not. It is here, and this is a great opportunity to get out and do some of that shopping, because I know there's a whole bunch of you who haven't even started yet. Right? But you don't want to wait. Here we go. We're going to go to our friends now from the Big Brothers, Big Sisters, coming on to join us here. There they are.
Oh.
Hello, ladies.
There we go. Hi, Dave. Hello. How are you?
Not too bad. We have Beth and Jackie here, right?
No. Kaylen.
Or Kaylen.
You're looking at my Facebook
I'm
name.
thinking of your Facebook name. I'm sorry.
That's
Kaylen
okay.
and Jackie.
Yeah.
Woo!
It's been a long day. We know that.
It's been a real techie day, hasn't it, for everybody on the show today. Thank you both for being here. And I know you're busy as well, but you're always busy, I guess, with things like this coming up.
We are. This is a really busy time for us here. This sale, we honestly work on 12 months a year. But these last few weeks and this week leading up to it's crazy for us here. So we've got a lot going on, but everything's looking amazing. And we're super excited for the sale this weekend.
Yeah. How many years is it? Do we know how many years it's been for this?
Yes, this is our 47th year.
47 years.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. That's amazing.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So we've seen a lot of them. This is my 10th sale, and Jackie has been around 29 sales. So wow. We've really watched it transform over the years. Jackie, obviously, more so than myself, but it's pretty cool to see the change over the 10 years since I've been here. It's transformed into a very upper scale, upper class sale. So it's really neat.
Yeah, well, and it's really important here as well. Big Brothers, Big Sisters. I think probably most people have heard of Big Brothers, Big Sisters, but I'm not sure that everybody really understands just, what it's really all about. Can we get a little background on just what do they do in the community?
Yeah, so we offer a few different programs here in the community. We have our one-to-one mentoring. We have our in-school mentoring, Go Girls, Game On, which are both school-based programs that focus on healthy bodies, healthy living. We have our Big Bunch program for the kids on our waiting list as well. So all of those programs require a lot of funding. We do have a huge amount of funding from United Way, which we're so appreciative of, but we don't receive any government funding, so we rely so heavily on... Okay. Yeah, none at all. So grants and these fundraisers like our show and sale this weekend to raise money to fund these core programs that we run each year.
Yeah, well, and that would be a lot of money, I would think, to keep things going, especially, but it's obviously been very successful to keep going and for the amount of years that you just shared with us, to keep that in the community. It has to be a rewarding place for you to be as well. I mean, you have your jobs and stuff that you have to do to make things work, but you see a lot of positive things happening coming out of Big Brothers, Big Sisters.
Oh, absolutely. We've had the opportunity to meet some amazing people over the years and some of the most amazing volunteers who give their time to these kids. And, they say they get just as much of it out of it as the kids do. So when you hear stuff like that, it makes it really cool to come to work and to get to be a part of that and introduce that to the kids is fantastic. And like I said, we have some amazing matches, and to watch them. I mean, some of them we've known now for 10 years myself, and to watch them start as little kids and now they're teenagers, it's really neat.
We've had matches that have been big sisters or big brothers who've been matched more than once, and have seen their little age out at 18, and then they get rematched again. And so we have one big sister who's been matched 5 times. And so she's still involved. She's been involved as long as I've been around. So,
and her little sister, her previous little sister's actually a staff of ours now, and on both of them sit on the show and sale committee as well. So it's awesome to see that kind of thing.
Yeah, real full circle.
Yeah, well, and that's the kind of thing we want to see, I guess, in the community as well, right? Especially, things get passed on from one generation to the next as far as values and how to behave and how to just enjoy life and all those things that go into, I guess, probably being a big brother and big sister, right? Yeah. And I'm guessing that there's a process involved to becoming a big brother, big sister. You don't just sign a piece of paper and
no. That's also changed quite a bit over the years, I would think. So if you're interested in becoming a volunteer with us, you would apply, meet with one of our caseworkers, and there's a lengthy process they go through to make sure that we're not just taking anyone in. They have to have a criminal record check, obviously, and references, and an interview with one of our caseworkers before they come through for the process.
Yeah. And that's for obvious reasons, I guess, right? So, I mean, it's good that happens. Yeah. I know that these kind of things don't happen without sponsors. So I see that this year it's Catherine Wild and Fleck Law are supporting this, right?
Yes, this is the 3rd year for Kathy to sponsor this sale. And Kathy's been a longtime supporter of Big Brothers Big Sisters as well. She herself was a big sister and a long-term big sister, and she's just continued to support.
Right. You frozen up on me.
I think if I could jump in, one of the things about Kathy that I think is fantastic is how hands-on she is with this event. Yes. We appreciate all of our sponsors, but with Kathy, she gets right in there the whole weekend, and she sits on the committee as well, attends the meetings, and she really knows what it's all about. So if someone in the community asks her about the sale, she knows the answers to it, which is really great.
Yeah, you froze there for a moment, so we missed some of that. But I think what you're catching there was that Catherine's been involved. She was a big sister herself, correct?
Yeah.
And,
yes.
So it is important, because to have that, I don't want to say a personal but honest connection to giving support. Because sometimes, I think we just, oh yeah, sure, I'll do that. But so it's good to have somebody like that, I guess, in your corner supporting the cause, right?
Mm-hmm. Somebody who knows it, for real, like she's lived it and experienced it, and she really knows what we're all about. And so having her sponsor is, takes on a whole new dimension. So. Yeah,
for sure. Now this is happening at. I'm going too far. It's at I can't get the penguin out of my head. The show and sale's happening at Alexander Mackenzie. Has it always happened there? Or it's just been there for quite a few years, right?
It's been at Alexander Mackenzie. This is going to be actually our 4th sale there, our 3rd November sale. But we have been at various other schools in the city, and we were for a time at Bayside Mall. So we've been kind of around. But this is a lovely location for us. We really are happy with Alexander Mackenzie. It's got a nice homey feel. It's bright and lots of windows, and it's very nice there. So we're very happy to have it.
Kind of sets the mood for the day. 2 days, I should say, right?
2 days,
Yep, Saturday and Sunday, November 9th and 10th. And the sale starts at 9 o'clock Saturday morning, and people will be lined up at the doors. Probably at least a half hour before the doors open. And so it's very busy Saturdays. And last year we had our busiest Sunday ever. So we hope to even do better this year.
That's fantastic. Well, that's a good problem to have, right? And so a lot of people, local vendors, obviously come together. How many vendors do you have there?
We have 120 this year.
Wow.
And about 20 of them are new.
So more and more. So it's growing every year. Then is that what you're seeing?
It is, yeah. This year we sold out the sale about mid-September, so we've been taking a waiting list since then. So I mean, it's definitely a good problem to have when we're not able to take everyone. I mean, I wish we could grow it a little bit more. Where we're at right now, we are kind of set to that number. We can't get any more in there, and we're not looking to move at this point because we're comfortable there.
It's working.
It is working. We know, yeah. But yeah, we have 120 vendors. Like Jackie said, about 20 new this year, and just some amazing product and amazing local talent to come together. Yeah, it's exciting.
I know several ladies who've got it on their calendar and are planning to be there.
That's good to hear.
I might know one personally. She's going to be there early, but and this is good. This is quality stuff too. This isn't like this is good stuff that's going to be around there. It's is it just people locally that come to this, or do people from outside the city come to this too?
There are people from. Are you talking about vendors or shoppers?
Both, I would think. Yeah.
Okay, vendors. We have vendors majority from Sarnia and area, but we do have some from out of town as well, and. Shoppers do come from out of town as well. We do have a reputation that people come year after year, so, and they're coming from, all over. So it's really nice to know that we're so well supported and, look forward to this sale each year. So,
yeah. Now, people, can they, you look for volunteers outside of being a big brother or big sister?
Yeah, we have a lot of volunteers, just community volunteers for this event. This is one of our biggest fundraisers, and it takes an insane amount of volunteers to pull this all together. If you were at the school on Friday to come in a matter of 2 or 3 hours, see it transform to what it does, it requires a lot of labor, and we have some amazing volunteers who come back each year for this event, some great support in the community who come together as well. And the weekend during the day, there's a lot of matches that come in. We really love to have our matches come out at this event for people to see what it is that they're supporting. But there's a ton of volunteer work that goes into it. So if anyone's looking to volunteer, we still definitely could take some more volunteers for this weekend. But there's a lot.
Yeah, I figured it out one time. It's probably about roughly 100 volunteers throughout the process of the weekend. Some of them that are not necessarily there at the weekend, but have done some volunteer work outside of the weekend itself. And that would, it's important for putting on the weekend. So, it's a large number. It's really surprising when you start to think, wow, all those people have to be accounted for too.
Yeah, right. So, well, it really speaks volumes to the importance of Big Brothers, Big Sisters in the community when people step forward and say, hey, I need to support that, or I need to help you, or even if it's not all year, just a few hours over the weekend or whatever that looks like, so that's obviously important to the community, as I think most people would recognize here. So congratulations on success of the show in the past, and I'm sure it's going to go well again for you.
Thank you very much. We appreciate it.
You're welcome. Is there anything else you want to throw out there before I let you go back to your day?
I guess we'll just say it again. It's this Saturday and Sunday. Saturday from 9 to 5, Sunday from 11 to 4. Alexander Mackenzie. Admission is $5. Children 12 and under are admitted free with an adult. Thank you again to Catherine Wild and Fleck Law for her sponsorship for this event. And to our committee as well, who's worked so hard on this over the last year since the last one ended. So big shout out to them too.
Perfect. Well, I appreciate you sharing it with me and giving us the opportunity to put it out there for you. And if I get some time, I know I'm going to be there because I have to bring my wallet.
Yeah, you'll probably see us there too.
Perfect. Ladies, thank you. Kaylen and Jackie, thank you so much for being here once again. I appreciate you.
Thanks. Okay, bye now.
All right. There you go. It's been a techie day here today, but thank you very much to the ladies for being here from Big Brothers, Big Sisters. And of course, the show and sale is happening this weekend, as they talked about here. Let's show that to you once again. So you can get all the information again. And I know they're very grateful to Catherine Wild and Fleck Law for their support again of the show and sale this year, happening at Alexander Mackenzie School. Starts this Saturday at 9 o'clock. And then it'll be on again Sunday at 11 o'clock in the morning until 4 in the afternoon. And it really is an important part of our community. So many great organizations that do different things all make it all work well and support our community here. So thank you again to both you ladies for your hard work and for being here as well. All righty. Well, just got to make sure that I get everything. Sometimes I forget, right? Oh, I'm going to do this again because it still is happening, even though it's getting cold out. Motorcycles are still on the road. I will say it all the time because I am one of those guys on two wheels. So keep an eye out for the motorcycles on the road, and we'll keep an eye out for you as well. Also, I want to say a special thank you to supporter from day one of the show. 8 years next week. 8 years next week. No, wait a minute. This week, November the 7th. That's Thursday, right? Wow. Where did the time go? So this week, 8 years for the show, and AG Event Graphics, AskGuy.ca, been there from day one. Really grateful for them and all their support. And Joe's Discount Tire giving us huge support here as well. Also, a shout out earlier for supporting our Sarnia Sting recap was Oswald's Diner and Active Ears Hearing Center here in Sarnia. And of course, all of you, I appreciate all the support you've given me over 8 years. And no, not slowing down. Going to keep going. And actually, you're going to see more of me on Twitch as well. If you don't know what Twitch is, well, keep following along. Twitch.tv/David Burrows. I'll post the link coming up. You're going to be seeing me there a couple of times a week. It's more. Anyway, there's lots going on. But 8 years, it's really been quite a journey, and really been enjoying the journey along the way and getting to know the community more and being able to share all the greatness in this community, and all of you for being here. Not just in here, but all over the planet, communities that come here and watch, as you saw earlier from United Kingdom. We had South Africa in there earlier as well. So I'm really grateful for that. And if you can't watch me, or you just don't want to look at me, you can listen to me as well on all the podcasts that are available on Anchor, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, anywhere the podcasts are available. This show will be available within 24 hours from today. So once again, I thank all of you very much for being here and being a part of the show for 8 years now. And wow, we got to do some thinking about that. It's been quite a journey. That's all the time I got for you this week, everybody. Have a great week and an even better weekend. I will see you next time right here on the show. Bye for now.